First Edwards and them bouncing the checkbook. They live in royalty. That's my mind. That's my mindset. So every time I got a list what I done spent, I said, this ain't you, God.
All right now.
Gotta see beyond that. Do you want to know your account, what is left in it? I don't even know. More than enough. Amen. So when the kingdom turns on, you will know. You will know. And everyone around you is going to know that something happened. And what do God get out of that? Then you explain to him what just happened. I've been seeking the kingdom of God. And now the kingdom of God is seeking me. And all you have to do after that is just live. Amen?
Amen.
Sickness. Listen to this. When the kingdom turns on you, everything that's transpired in the home country transpires in your life. In the home country, there's no sickness and disease, so there can't be no sickness and disease in your life.
Amen.
In the home country, there's no poverty, so there can't be no poverty in your life. Just keep it turning. Everything that that government represents has to take place in your life. If you got one finger cut off in an accident, it has to come back
Hey.
to look like the original. I'm trying to tell you, if you had a hand cut off, it has to come back. It has to look like the original. That's how powerful the government of God is. Can you think like that? Can you think like that? If you had your ovaries removed and they have to come back. They have to come back. If they got to come back to the original. I think Sarah was able to have a child at that age. She believed God. And it was translated. It had to come back to the original. It's bigger than a car in a house. Everything has to go back to the original intent of God.
Just what you were saying, and even when you mentioned Sarah, you know, we all know the story of Sarah, and you know, God promised Abraham through his wife Sarah a child, and it was a 25-year process. And now with my understanding of the kingdom, and you know, even though the word doesn't say it, and you might, those of you that lead ministries, you might have to go correct it, but when you go correct it, you're going to say, Apostle had a point. I don't believe it had to take 25 years. But what happened is, like what many of us do when pursuing the kingdom, they inserted, in the midst of the promise, seeking after the promise, seeking after the kingdom, they inserted Hagar.
Mm-hmm.
And because they inserted Hagar, they, in essence, elevated Hagar to a place where Sarah was supposed to walk.
Say that Hagar represents Babylon.
Yes.
Doing it on your own strength.
Yes. And it caused, because they inserted Hagar, it caused the delay in reaching the place that God wanted them to reach. That's what happens with many of us in pursuing the kingdom in certain instances when we feel like it's not happening quick enough. It's not happening like we thought it was going to happen.
We insert Hagar.
We insert Hagar.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
And it causes a delay.
Who is your Hagar? Or what is your Hagar?
Just to piggyback on what you just said, it showed a lack of faith You said in the beginning that the only currency that spends in heaven is faith. So that showing of a lack of faith caused that delay because of that insertion of Hagar.
That's what represents Babylon. So every time God is telling you He's going to do something, and if He don't, here you go. We get over here eventually. And He don't do it in your time constraint. 666. Babylonia's time system. If He don't do it by Friday, then God ain't gonna do it. So now I gotta go and call some people and see if I can make this thing happen. That's your Hagar. Because see, God would never submit to this Babylonian time system. Because in eternity is time without time. So therefore, He'll come when His time, but not His time, but it's in our time. God never submits to this 666. It's a Babylonian system. In your forehead, in your hands, meaning you gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
You gotta think like Babylon. If it's not done in the time constraints that this geological clock says, then God ain't gonna do it. Remember, you operate from the past tense. He's already done it. He's already done it. Some of y'all was here for that 666. That's what we'll get around to. Wow. Good point, Apostle and Prophetess Carter. Any more questions? Any comments? I like when the class starts teaching. You know, Revelation is bouncing. Yep. Come on, Sean. Tracy.
Where's your? I'm sorry.
The Lord been dealing with me, but the last couple of weeks, terminology of miracles. And you stepped in when you're talking about the hand, and your hand will go back. In our eyes, that would be a miracle or a supernatural of God. In God's eyes, this is what He does.
Wow.
When we get our mindset to His mindset, we're going to be looking at everything like, oh, wow, no, this is what He does.
It's natural.
It's natural.
It's not. What happens is, if we can picture this, if you can picture this, we read Revelation. It talks about how it is in heaven. The government of God is what keeps heaven the way it is. Everything is done according to the government of God, which God is the head of that government. You said there's no sickness, there's no disease, there's none of these things. So whenever a king takes over a territory, his objective is to make that outpost look like the home country. That's his objective. Whenever you read kingdoms take over territories, it's not that they can have more territory just per se, but they can have more territory that looks like them. So God's objective in sending Adam to the earth was to have more territory that looked like his. So anytime he can find someone that believes from that aspect, he got to make their territory look like his. You're a territory. You're part of that territory. Your origin originated in heaven, which is your spirit. That's why these things right here, a lot of what's being said is going over your natural mind, but your spirit is leaping. Because your spirit came from this origin. It originated from the things that we're saying. And then the static or the interference is getting out the way. And it said, I can breathe again. I hear the home country talking. I hear the home country talking. And can you believe to that degree? Doesn't become a miracle no more, like someone said. It becomes what I do.
Yes.
It's the lifestyle. Let's break for 10 minutes. That's good stuff. Break for 10 minutes. Y'all cut it to my evening time and stuff. So. Get it in there. Take a 10-minute break and we'll come back. We're going to deal with repent. plus transformation equals paradigm shift.
Got pulled out.